Shalom Israel, and welcome to another edition of Yasharal's 20-minute breakdown, where I'll attempt to break down the scriptures within 20 minutes. But first and foremost, as always, we give all praises to Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai, and the brothers and the elders that's pushing this word in truth and sincerity. Now, today is now the 5th of January. Yeah, according to Esau, according to this kingdom, it's the 5th of January, 2023. Now, I've just woke up, this morning on an early morning rant. Now, it's been 5 days in from the 1st, because today is the 5th, and every time I see somebody, they keep saying, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. And you know what? I just say, oh, yeah, thanks. Because sometimes I just can't constantly keep saying, listen, I don't celebrate New Year. And it's not even, according to scripture, January is not even the New Year. But constantly, for 5 days in, today's the 5th, it's been happening, and I can no longer hold my peace. So I've woke up this morning in the spirit to do this quick lesson. Now, I'm going to first quickly read Exodus chapter 12 and verse 1 to 3. Yeah? Because there, the Most High shows you when the new year is. Yeah? Now, you know what? I'm not in a long thing. This was been bugging me. Like I said, I can no longer hold my peace. So I just want to do this quick lesson this morning. Now, when you turn to the book of Exodus, chapter 12 and verse 1, this is what it reads. Exodus chapter 12 verse 1, and it reads, And Yahweh spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, so remember, this is when they were still in Egypt and they hadn't quite yet been delivered out of Egypt from the hand of Pharaoh. Verse 2, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Now, verse 3 now is going to show you something what he's talking about. Watch this. Verse 3, Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, In the 10th day of this month they shall take to them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house. Now, when you read on, that's going in to the Passover is coming up. Now, the thing about the new year, yeah? You know what? Even before I even say that, let me just read this. Watch this. Let me go to the law just to show you that it was to what I was just talking about was the Passover. Watch this. Let's go to the book of Leviticus, chapter 23 and verse 5. Listen to this. Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 5, and it reads, In the 14th day of the first month at even is the Lord's Passover. So you see, so what I read prior in Exodus, yeah, this is before they were delivered. Now, they were already being told that, this month is the first month of the year. So that's the new year. So Passover time is the first month of the year. So remember when I just read in Leviticus now, in the 14th day of the first month. So 14 days in is when, they had to, kill the lamb, put the blood on door, and then, the Most High passed through Egypt and smite all the firstborn. And then, Pharaoh let the children of Israel go, and they came out into the wilderness. And then on the 15th day is when you start the Feast of Unleavened Bread, where now you cleanse yourself of all unleavened, meaning all sin. That's what that's going into. But if you notice, yeah, New Year is the Passover. When is Passover? Passover is spring. Let's say between March, April. That's when things are budding anew. That's the new year. Because look at this, right? Look at outside. We're in the winter solstice. We're in January. Winter. Things are dying. Look at the trees. There's no leaves. The trees are bare. Flowers are not budding. Yeah? Animals are hibernating. How is that the new year? A new year is when things are budding anew. Flowers are blooming up. The trees are starting to spring forth their bud to produce leaves or flowers or, eventually fruit. That's when things are budding anew. That's the new year. And the Most High ordained the new year in the spring, when things are budding anew, when things are renewing. That's the new year. That's when things are like new, renewing. That's new year. Now listen to this, yeah? This is the book of Acts chapter 5 and verse 29, and it reads, "Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said." Now let's see what Peter and the other apostles said. Let's hear this. Answered and said, "We ought to obey the Most High rather than men." Now, anything the Most High said, that's what they obeyed. They didn't obey man. They obeyed whatever was written in the scriptures. Because even remember, they believed all things. I remember Peter walked with the Messiah. So Peter had first-hand teaching. Now, the other apostles that came later, like Paul and all that, like they didn't walk with the Messiah like how Peter did. But, remember Paul was converted on the road to Damascus by Yahushua. A voice, came out on the road to Damascus and he was converted there. But the point I'm making here, these apostles, let me read that again. Acts chapter 5 verse 29. "Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey God. We ought to obey the Most High rather than men." Now, men has said that the new year is in the winter solstice, when things are dying or died. The grass is withered, yeah? There's no flowers blooming. Animals have hibernated. They've tucked themselves away for the winter. Trees look like skeletons, but yet they call this the new year. And even this place even knows, because when is the new financial year in this kingdom? Isn't it not March, April? But they do everything to keep you from serving the Most High and giving you even a feast day like New Year's in the winter solstice, in the dead of winter, in January the 1st. But according to Exodus chapter 12 and verse 2, it says, "This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you." So you see, the first month of the year to you, and that's at the Passover, yeah? So you know what? I just want to get that off my chest, yeah? So I hope you got something with that. So, I know people's going to constantly say to me, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. And I've been saying thanks, but then I've been saying, well, I don't celebrate New Year because this isn't the new year. The new year is actually in spring when things are budding anew. And then I have to explain. And the people that I've actually explained it to and gone to the scriptures, then show them that, new is when things are budding anew. Just like when you have the new moon, shall we say, the first sliver of light, when the moon is renewing, that's the new moon. When you got the first slither before, it comes to a full moon, which a full moon now is the middle, is the middle of the month. And then it, decreases to show the end of the month, because things like the moon, declares the month and its season. I just want to, roughly paraphrasing. Not going to go to the scripture. That scripture you can read in the book of Baruch, but I'm not going to go to the scripture. This was just a quick early morning rant because I had to get that off my chest. So I hope you got something with that. This is Yasharella. We out.